Bedtime Myths and Mysteries, where legends never sleep.
Welcome back to Bedtime Myths and Mysteries, where even the smallest objects on your holiday table can carry stories stranger and older than anyone realizes. Tonight, we're looking at an everyday December ritual. Not the tree, not the stockings, not the carols. Something far quieter, far sillier, and somehow far more revealing about who we are. The Christmas cracker. A paper tube, a crown that never fits properly, a joke so bad it borders on criminal, and a snap that startles everyone from toddlers to great-grandparents. But what if the Christmas cracker is more than a novelty? What if it contains a hidden purpose, a piece of Victorian theatre, a lesson in humility, a spark of rebellion, and a tiny ceremony disguised as party trivia? Settle in. This one's louder, stranger, and more human than you'd ever guess. If you've ever sat at a Christmas table, chances are there was a cracker waiting for you. Bright, shiny, wrapped in foil paper or patterned with snowflakes, tied with ribbon at both ends like a miniature sweet. You may have pulled it without thinking, letting instinct take over. One person grabs one side, someone else grabs the other. There's a sharp tug, a louder pop than anyone expects, and suddenly someone's wearing a flimsy crown while everyone pretends the joke isn't that bad. We repeat this ritual without hesitation, yet ask almost anyone why we do it, and the room goes quiet. That's part of the charm. The Christmas cracker is one of the rare traditions we perform long after the meaning has faded, surviving purely because it feels right, because it creates a moment that belongs to everyone at the table. But to understand how this small object became such a staple, we need to step back to Victorian London, a place that lived and breathed novelty. This was an era defined by invention. Factories roared, cities ballooned, and the appetite for entertainment grew just as quickly. Parlors were filled with curiosity items, kaleidoscopes, mechanical birds, magic lantern slides, puzzle boxes. People wanted to be surprised. They wanted brief escapes from long winters and longer workdays. It's here we meet Tom Smith, a London confectioner in the 1840s who believed even a sweet could be an event. His first creation was simple, a bonbon wrapped in paper with a small, sentimental message. At first the idea struggled. People liked the sweets, yes, but the message felt somewhat lost, too quiet, too still. Then, one evening, while sitting by a fireplace, Smith heard the sharp crack of a log splitting in the flames. The sound wasn't just noise, it was anticipation. It cut through the room, demanded attention, created a second of delicious tension. He wondered whether he could build something that captured that feeling on command. What he eventually created was the earliest ancestor of the Christmas cracker, a wrapped treat that would produce a small, controlled explosion when pulled apart, safe, surprising, and deeply theatrical. It wasn't just a novelty, it was a miniature performance. To Victorian families, especially children used to stiff manners and rigid expectations, this was electrifying. The pop broke the silence. The wrapper burst open. The message fluttered out. It was a rebellion, disguised as a treat. As the years passed, Tom Smith and eventually his sons refined the invention. The sweet was replaced by toys. The paper messages became jokes and mottos. Decorative paper replaced simple wrappers. And eventually, the paper crown appeared. A detail so iconic now that crackers feel incomplete without it. But even once we understand the history, a deeper question remains. Why did this tradition last? Why did it cross oceans, cultures, and generations? Why does it feel wrong to sit at a Christmas table without a row of bright tubes waiting to be exploded? The answer lies in what the cracker asks us to do. It demands participation. It demands partnership. It demands a moment of shared foolishness. A cracker cannot be opened alone. It is a ritual of togetherness disguised as a game. Two people take the ends. They brace, they count, or they don't. And then they tug. The tiny explosion is not just a sound. It is a signal. Something ordinary has been interrupted. Something playful has been allowed into the space. For a moment, everyone becomes a child again. Even if they're 80 years old and pretending they don't like loud noises. Then the crown comes out, always too small, always threatening to tear. People who would never wear a costume in public now place it neatly on their heads because it is the rule of the ritual. A crown that costs pennies suddenly becomes a symbol of shared silliness. It levels the table. The banker, the builder, the teenager, the shy aunt, all equal under the weight of paper royalty. It's community through absurdity. The joke is next, the worst jokes ever written, puns that would make a medieval jester resign. And yet they persist. Why? Because the point isn't humor, it's response. The groans, the laughter, the eye rolls that ripple around the table. The joke is merely a spark that triggers a collective moment. And then there's the trinket, often worthless, occasionally charming, always unexpected. The value is not in the object. The value is in the surprise. A tiny reminder that delight does not need to impress to matter. In a world of expensive gifts and pressured expectations, the cracker gift stands proudly, pointless. But beneath all this noise and nonsense lies something older. The symbolism of breaking something open to reveal a hidden prize. The Christmas cracker reflects an instinct humans have shared for centuries. The thrill of unlocking, uncovering, discovering. The idea that joy is sometimes wrapped in layers, and that to reach it, we must be willing to pull, to risk, to make a bang. The cracker is a miniature firework for a time of year when most fireworks would freeze in the air. It's a spark of rebellion inside the structure of a formal meal. A reminder that celebration thrives not in perfection, but in interruption. And perhaps this is why the tradition endured. It asks nothing grand. It makes no demands on belief or culture. It simply offers a moment of shared lightness, a brief, ridiculous ceremony in which everyone at the table participates. In a season built around gathering, it is the smallest, surest way to make people feel part of something together. When you pull a Christmas cracker, you are not reenacting a Victorian gimmick. You are performing an act of connection, a tiny ceremony of noise, color, and camaraderie, a reminder that humans have always sought ways, big and small, to break the darkness of winter with moments of surprise. The cracker survives because it works. It cuts through awkward silence. It brings strangers into the same laughter. It levels status. It invites joy into the room, whether or not anyone thinks they're in the mood for it. It's not history that keeps it alive. It's the people who pull it. If you enjoyed this look into one of Christmas's smallest mysteries, be sure to subscribe to Bedtime Myths and Mysteries. There are countless traditions on your table, on your tree, and even tucked into your stockings that hold secrets you've never heard. And in the next story, we'll be tugging on another thread of holiday folklore to see what unravels. Until then, keep your crown straight, your jokes terrible, and your crackers ready. You never know which one will spark the biggest laugh.